internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add Postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing. This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
It is 25 minutes before 10. At this time, we welcome you to a special program on Talking Point. We want to discuss cybersecurity. Very important discussion we want to have. We want one of the officials to fill in the blanks, or several blanks, of course, that we have. You may have questions as well, and we welcome you to participate. The Caribbean Development Technology Program, I think it is, CAD-TP, but our guests will tell me. That organization is set to roll out a cybercrime and cybersecurity awareness campaign, or it is on already, so it's not set to roll out again. It is on already in several Caribbean countries, including Dominica, I think, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Grenada, and St. Lucia as well. And that campaign is supported by the World Bank. So we want to look at cybersecurity in all aspects, what we should know, and some of the things that we should look out for, especially these days. Hacking and phishing and other terms, if you're not sure about them. The guests, of course, will go through them and give you the definition. So let me welcome you to this discussion. Let me also recognize Flo Dominica.
This Christmas, Flow's making the season merrier when you add postpaid to internet. Unwrap a new smartphone for only $10. Plus, we're giving you 35% off your mobile bill and win even more goodies with our Spin the Wheel Christmas promotion. This Christmas, the rewards are on us. Add postpaid to your internet plan today in-store or visit discoverflow.co for more info. Terms and conditions apply. Flow, we keep your Christmas rhythm flowing.
And so we welcome you to this discussion. I have one guest in studio, Mr. Robert Tong. And Mr. Robert Tong is no stranger to radio discussions of that nature. He is the coordinator of the digital economy, and he has been involved in several things in Dominica and in the Caribbean as well. And as we told you, the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project is really marking a milestone in advancing digital resilience across the region. Let me go to the studio to welcome the guest. Mr. Robert Tong, it's good to have you. You're alone this morning, or you're expecting somebody else?
Good morning. It is a pleasure to be here indeed. We have another guest who will be here shortly, but in the interest of time, we will start so that our people in Dominica are aware of the things that the government of Dominica is doing to ensure that our people not only move forward, but at the same time, we have to make sure that we are protected. And I always say to individuals, it's not just about you, it's about you, your family, your friends, and your business. So never think about it as just as you, because if your child gets impacted, if your wife gets impacted, if your business gets impacted, if your parents get impacted by a cybersecurity threat, or some type of scam, you are also going to be impacted in some way, shape, or form, whether it's mentally, physically, or in your pocket, So the intention is to ensure that whilst we push Dominica forward, we show people how to protect themselves and their family and friends and their business.
Yes, we want to put a focus on upcoming workshop, but I know that Dominica is part of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. And as I said a while ago, this is a milestone for us in that part of the world, in that part of the Caribbean, as this project advances digital resilience across the region. What should we understand by this? What is this really saying?
What we're doing is that the governments have known and knows that the world has moved forward. We hear of AI, we hear of all sorts of things in terms of using technology to advance yourself. So technology can be used for the good, it can be used for research, and it can also be used for the bad. So the government implemented a project where many different things will be done, and one of them is the whole issue of cybersecurity, also having what we call a CERT, a cyber emergency response unit, so that when people are being attacked, and especially businesses are being attacked by, let's say, different penetration tests people are doing, that unit will be able to pick these things up and alert you so that you can protect yourself. When somebody hacks your account or somebody steals your identity, they would be able to help to assist to find these individuals and obviously bring them to court through the police. So protection is important.
You call it CERTA?
CERT, cyber emergency response unit. Yes.
Okay, all right.
So that's a CERT. That's one of the things that's going to be implemented by the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, again, to ensure that people are safe. So take, for example, just on Thursday, we were in Castle Bruce, we were in Granby, we were in Marigot, and in Portsmouth. One of the great projects that we have is the Hospital Management Information System. You know, sometimes you go to the hospital and they ask you the questions over and over and over, and the nurses have to write down the information over and multiple times. So we're training the persons, and we have that system being tested right now to ensure that your information is on the system, it is there, it'll help to improve efficiency, it'll allow you to get service a lot faster, because obviously when you're in pain, you don't want to be answering questions. You want to be able to just give them your number, your unique identifier number, and be able to receive service as quickly as possible. You want them to know that you have an allergy. So all of these things are being done, but as we move forward in that sphere, again, it is data being stored, and you have to ensure that we train our people to protect themselves. So take, for example, you have a username and a password. You enter your username and your password. You cannot just leave your computer and go and do something for the next half hour. You have to make sure you log out, because if somebody uses a computer, you are going to be in some form of problems. Even our cell phones, we have so much information on our cell phones, personal information, friends information, pictures, banking information. So all of that is there. So that, again, is why the government has this project, and part of the project is to ensure that whilst we're moving forward with all of the different things, improving our ability to make payments online, to fill out applications online, we have to ensure that you know how to protect yourselves and everybody, the government staff, businesses, and individuals.
This upcoming workshop is not just for people who have a business, who run a business.
No.
If you use a smartphone, you know, you bank online, you shop online, you have children on social media, this is for you as well.
Sure, definitely. The program is for all persons. You just need to go to the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. A lot of people say, who is this? Where is this? Just use your phone and just Google Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, and our name will come up. The telephone numbers will be there, and you can contact us for the event. The event is on the 4th of December, and it's happening at the Goodwill Parish Hall from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. So if you run a business, if you use a smartphone, if you bank online, you shop online, and very importantly, you have children on social media, this workshop is for you. So we're encouraging as many people to sign up. Obviously, space is going to be limited. So the early birds are going to be able to capture and protect themselves. But very importantly, when you learn this information, do not keep it to yourself. Spread it. Teach another person, and that person will teach another person. So
yes,
that everybody is protected in the community. Because as we said, if one person is impacted, many are impacted.
Okay, so our other guest has joined us. Let me say good morning to you. Welcome. Give us your introduction, introduce yourself, and tell us about your involvement in all of this.
Morning, everybody. Morning to the listeners. My name is Charles Grant, cybersecurity professional. Couple of certifications in cybersecurity over the years, and decided to focus more or less on cybersecurity. I hold a master's in cybersecurity and digital forensics, and I'm basically one of the presenters for the workshop on the day. So just inviting all small business persons, the general public, to basically come out and get some information as far as what cybersecurity is. Cybersecurity is usually at the back of a lot of person's mind, because they feel like we're too small, or I don't do a lot online. But today, the threat actors, the adversaries, they don't care if you're small, big, or little. At the end of the day, it's a job for them. And what they're doing is basically trying to collect enough payday for each day. So you might only lose 100 US. However, that 100 US multiplied by 1,000 for their day is a good day for them. So in the Caribbean, in Dominica, we need to be aware of that. Small business places losing $4,000 on a transaction, that could really hamper your buying power for the next year or the next couple of months, because now you have to figure out, where am I going to get that next 4,000 US or 1,000 US? It all depends on the size of the business. We all shop online, and we take it for granted at times that there are people out there just waiting and trying to get you to make a mistake so they could have a good payday. But for you as a small business person, as an individual, you losing that revenue, going to take you some time to catch up. So we just really encouraging everybody to come out.
I know, Mr. Tong, you give a synopsis of it, but I want you again to walk us through a simple definition, easy to understand definition of cyber security and cyber crime as well.
I would ask Mr. Grant. As you can see, that's one thing I'm very proud of. In Dominica, we have a lot of extremely talented professionals. Sometimes we always say that foreign is better, and we actually have experts here locally who can assist you. So I would leave
No problem.
Mr. Grant to explain that.
Yes.
Okay,
Mr. Grant,
so,
very simple definition.
A very simple definition for cybersecurity. Actually, a very tough thing to basically explain, but I'll explain it in this way. Cybersecurity is about three things: confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Anything that affects one of those three things is what you consider to be a data breach or cyber-related incident, cybersecurity-related incident. Because anything that you do that affects the adversary is trying to break one of those things. Either your confidentiality, they get into your emails. Integrity, they're able to change data to represent something that is beneficial to them, or they're trying to prevent you from accessing a particular service or something that you need right now. So we all know when ChatGPT is down, it's an issue. So let's say that's somebody is actually preventing cybersecurity from being served to you. That's an availability problem. Now, companies lose a ton of money when their website is up. Like Mark and Spencer in England recently had a breach this year, and in a matter of a couple of days, they lost millions of dollars that affected their profits for the year 2025. Now, as a result of that, there was other merchandisers that actually benefited from Mark and Spencer being down. And who knows how long it will take Mark and Spencer to actually gain back those customers, because I wanted to order something, your site was down today, I went somewhere else. How long will it take me to get back to you? So I think I'll explain it in that way, that cybersecurity affects three things: confidentiality, integrity, or availability. So you can think about that in your daily lives, and any one of those things can get affected, and it can basically be detrimental to you in a sense. But that's basically what cybersecurity is.
Okay, Robert Tong, let us look at the realities that Dominica is facing. Are we safe at a time when hackers are getting smarter? Let us look at the Dominica case.
What I would say is that we are never safe, or we are safe as much as the things that we put in place, right? So many of us, we have a password, and we have some very, very simple passwords, right? We use the default password. So the first thing many people do when they pass in the street and they see a Wi-Fi thing, they try admin, because they know most people don't change it, right? Couple of the techniques that people use, people use their family, people's name, their children, their date of birth, and stuff like that. But guess what? Most of us have all of that information on social media. True or false? True. So therefore, your dog, your pet, you put the name. So there are many ways that persons can capture your information. So like Grant said, there are people out here who are looking to make money. And the more they can get is the more that they're going to make. And like he said, it doesn't matter. You can lose $100, you can lose $10,000, you can lose $100,000. They don't care. All they're doing is just trying their best to get, and it's not even them sometimes on the computer, they're using bots or whatever to hit your site, even a basic website. I have a website, and on a weekend I get maybe over 200 attempts to go into your website. Now remember, if somebody gets into your website, they can change all of the information on your website. They can put pornography. What happens to your reputation? Right? So a lot of times people just think of, oh, I'm going to lose X, Y, and Z. But just imagine somebody takes all of your data and puts it out there. All of your customers are going to lose confidence in you, right? And therefore, you're going to lose your business and they're going to go somewhere. So there are many simple things. We're seeing a lot of attempts, persons, WhatsApp. Many people are losing their WhatsApp accounts. And then somebody says, hey, this is Robbie, I'm at the airport. I'm stuck, I need $500. If you're my good friend, they catch me through, and many times they do it through groups. Once they catch the right person is going to send $500 without asking any questions. I am going to ask 3 or 4 questions before. I'm going to call your wife. Is it true? Before I make those decisions. We see a lot of the attempts for, again, as we are talking more digital, people are trying. So you see people trying for the banks. You see a WhatsApp email. You see a WhatsApp or you see a text message saying that your account has been locked, right? A lot of times we are emotional individuals, and I always say to people, take a step back before you act. Don't just click on that link before thinking. Look at the email, look at the text. Is it the correct website address? So it says Dominica, right? But you're so under pressure, you don't even see that it has 2 A's, right? You know, most big businesses, their website address is .com, but it says .net. You have to look at these things and think of it. Are they used to sending me WhatsApp messages and text messages? No. So why all of a sudden they're doing that? So these things are happening here in Dominica.
So there are suspicious links that one should look out for.
Of course, if you click on the link, sometimes the link looks exactly like the website because they cloned the website. But again, the address is going to be slightly different. An R and an M looks like a R and an N looks like a M. So there are many techniques that these people are using because that is their business. They are trying to get to your $100, your $200 on a regular basis. So number is scale. They send out 10,000 or a million attacks. If they get 10,000, you can well imagine how much money they're making
per day.
Per day, yeah, very, very true. Data. I know one company that didn't do backups on a regular basis a couple of years ago, and as a result of that, somebody said, "Hey, pay me 100,000, pay me 1 Bitcoin," which I think at the time was 80,000 US. They said, "I'm not paying that." Then the person locked all of their data. They had to go back and enter over 8 months worth of information. So just imagine you have to hire staff for a long period of time to re-enter that data. The lucky thing is that they didn't expose the data. So like I was saying, I mean, it may be troublesome. You go to, let's say, a courier company. You buy 2 perfumes, one for your wife and one for your girlfriend. Then all of a sudden, that information is out there that you had two perfumes. Imagine your issue, and again, the reputational risk of the company. So these are the real issues that are happening right now in Dominica and across the world. Anything
I just add one thing. Usually when persons see people messaging them about maybe usual Nigeria, what they call the Nigerian scam, where they're telling you like, I have some money and I'm unable to access the money and stuff like that. Some people feel like they should interact with those people.
Yes.
But they are sometimes just baiting you. Because these people send out tens of thousands of messages a day. And they're trying to see if there's a live person on the other end. So I know sometimes we as Dominicans, we feel like, boy, we got to give this person a piece of our mind. I would advise against that.
You just mentioned that they want to see if there's a live person at the other end.
Yeah, you don't know.
Sometimes you go on a site and before you can delve further, it asks you, are you a robot? And you have to identify certain things.
Yeah, that's just to prevent bots for actual other computers from.
I want to make this
clear. Yeah. But no, it's more like you get a WhatsApp message from somebody telling you that they have a set of money that they can't access right now. You feel like you should give this person a piece of your mind. But my advice is not
just leave it alone. Just
do not even message back.
Just delete.
Yes. Because when you interact with it, it now means that the person now knows that there's actually somebody live at that number. Now, what is happening now with AI is other information about you would now be linked to that number, and then they start basically creating a profile on you. and then they would basically have a better scam that is more targeted at you because you interacted with them and they know for sure there's somebody there now. So what is it that is going to get this person to click on a link or something? It wouldn't be the Nigerian scam, it wouldn't be that, but it might be a new Shein site or something that looks like a Shein site that you order a ton of stuff on because you're probably posting that on your Instagram or stuff like that. Or they know that you are a manufacturer and you buy a lot of raw materials from a particular supplier. So they basically go ahead and basically clone that supplier's website and stuff like that. So yeah, there is a lot of risk, especially for small business persons. One of the biggest losses for business across the world is called business BEC, basically business compromise. Basically, you compromise in email addresses. So you send to a supplier, and the supplier basically sends back an invoice for you. They basically in the supplier's email. So they seen that you're going to send $10,000 to that supplier. And basically they now know that you're about to send that money out. Now all of us across the region, in the world, we do that all the time. It might be somebody that we do in business with, and we know the person now email back and tell you, hey, my account number has changed, please send the money elsewhere. Our reaction is basically, yeah, we edit our transfer because they're gonna do this at the point where you are about to send out the email. They're not gonna wait a week to give you a chance to maybe speak to the person and stuff like that. They're gonna do it maybe this morning. You have to do the wire today, so they're gonna do it at 9 o'clock today because they expect you to go to the bank in a little while. So you have very little time. You just probably writing out the transfer now. You see an email saying to change it. You're like, all right, John or George or whoever sent an email, you change it. As soon as you send that money is gone. So I encourage persons nowadays, whenever you get these things, you have to, one, call the person. Don't email back. Once it's anything to do with a change in bank information, you call the person. Now, 3 years ago when I do cybersecurity training, I would have said, you call the person and you verify the transfer. In today's world, with AI and voice cloning, not even that is enough. So I have to encourage all the persons that usually when I do cybersecurity training, you have to now build relationships with almost every supplier that you're dealing with. Because you might call back a supplier, but everything in cybersecurity now is a movie script. They expect you to call and verify this transaction. So they know who you're gonna call. Now if they clone that person's voice, they're the ones you're speaking to because they're in the company's entire infrastructure. So you're speaking to that person that they expect you to be speaking to. It sounds like that person. So I have to encourage persons that when I do this level of training to say, hey, you need to know something about Jane from ABC company. You need to know that Jane hates dogs and Jane doesn't like dogs. So when you see a wire transfer change, you call Jane and say, hey Jane, what's going on? What's happening with the dog? How is your dog this morning? The person on the other hand is in real time have to react to something like that. They're gonna probably say, yeah, the dog is okay. Why else will you be asking Jane about the dog if she doesn't have a dog? But you, being vigilant, those are the sort of tactics that you have to use to try to get this person on the other end to verify. Jane will say, yeah, my dog is fine, but Jane doesn't have a dog. Jane hates dogs. So now you just hang up the phone and you give it a couple of days or something until you can try to call some other numbers, try to figure out what's going on with that company. This is the level that we have to go to today to sort of prevent losses. Like BEC, which is business email compromise, which is one of the biggest losses companies face. We're talking about billions of dollars every year to business email compromise, which is basically just getting somebody to send money somewhere else. So I'll add that.
So I don't
even want to say I'm scared, but I am.
Cybersecurity should not be scary to persons because cybersecurity is just about doing a lot of the little things consistently. Is an ever-changing and evolving attack surface for the attackers. So you just have to continuously look up for the information, the new information. If you have a password that's a dictionary word, it probably can be hacked in a matter of seconds. So once it's a dictionary word, it doesn't matter if you do any number from 1 to 1,000,000 after that word, we're talking about seconds. So you have a capital letter, dictionary word, numbers, seconds. You have a dictionary word and you changed all things like E to free, O to 0, stuff like that, seconds. So it cannot be a dictionary word at all. And we have financial institutions, and a lot of different places. And the password complexity is there, but you still have a dictionary word that they expect you to change the E to a free. So you have to sort of come up with much better passwords that is not thing. Maybe our Creole language, but even that eventually would get pulled into a password database, and not even those will be safe eventually. So yeah, but again, it's nothing to be scared of. Is you just have to recognize and be informed as to what's happening, and this workshop is exactly the type of place that you need to be if you really want to learn about these sort of things.
Ivonia, I'm looking at your facial expression, right? And I'm also thinking of the persons who are listening, and they may be saying, oh my God, this is doom and gloom, but it is not. Driving a vehicle, riding a motorcycle has the same type of risk, right? However, we were all taught how to drive properly, how to drive defensively, how to pay due care and attention. And if you do these things, then you are practically safe on the road, right? Likewise, the same thing applies to cybersecurity, and that is why we're here. And that is why we're having this event on the 4th of December at the Goodwill Parish Hall to ensure that our people can know what to do. And this session is really going to be a very hands-on session. So those of you who are interested in joining and attending, the telephone number is 266-3840. It's the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. And we'll be more than happy to sign you up so that you can join the program. And like Grant was just explaining, the program is intended to be a very hands-on, not as the highfalutin, here's a definition of this. We want to explain and to show persons some of the basic things that they have to do to ensure that they are safe. The whole issue of strong passwords, two-factor authentication, again, to ensure that it's not just an email going back and somebody has access to your email. There's also a message that comes to your phone that you'd have to click to make sure you move on to there. How to protect your children in terms of talking to children about cyberbullying, monitor who they talk to online, set privacy settings, all of these things that we have to do. In terms of your business, how to train your business, because if one individual is properly trained, but then all of your staff below are not properly trained and they're just clicking on the links that they get on left, right, and center, it means you're exposing your company again. So we have to ensure that the entire chain is as strong as possible, because one weak link will allow access to go in there.
No.
Yes, Grant, go ahead. I'm listening because I like the level of discussion. I like the education that you're imparting, and I like the idea that there's a workshop coming. Yes, Grant, go ahead.
One of the things that in the tech circles with other IT persons that I probably hear a lot is that so I want to invite those peoples. Financial boards, all these financial persons on the financial boards for all these different financial institutions that actually make some of the decisions within the institution, especially within IT, because IT budgets are usually very, very broad, or large usually. But the everything is on IT, so I don't see why you think IT budgets are large when your entire business runs on IT. But the board members of financial institution or any financial institution, these are the sort of workshop that I believe that they should join, because IT persons usually complain that I sent in a proposal and the board did not approve it. I sent in a request for something that could probably secure us, but the board did not approve it. So I would really like to encourage members for the different financial institution boards to really come out and get some information, because you are the stakeholders. You are the ones making a decision within a financial institution, or credit unions and so on, and other loan institutions and so on. They should be there. Cybersecurity is expensive, so most of these financial institutions does not have probably a cybersecurity person in-house every day. What we have is our IT persons who are basically trained in IT, trying to protect this institution. Cybersecurity is a full-on job. So all of these institutions should have cybersecurity persons. And yes, I know budgets are tight, and and probably that's why the board members need to probably come out to something like this, so you could actually see the value in what a cybersecurity person can bring to your organization. Now, it doesn't have to be a full-time person, but you need to have somebody that you can call up and say, hey, we're seeing X and Y within our institution. Or here is come in, do an assessment, see what we have, see what we don't have, to better help us make a decision. If for an entire year in any financial institution, and for the last 3 years, you have not done some type of cybersecurity assessment, you're probably in trouble. Now, it just takes one time for these attackers to work it out to get through to you, and that's it. So I would really encourage, if you're on a financial board, you should come out and actually join us and get some information, so that when you go back and you see IT requesting a new firewall or some type of new appliance to help protect the institution, you are aware. You're like, no, okay, I understand what a firewall does. A firewall is going to block the traffic coming into my organization that we don't want and prevent hackers from getting in. So yes, I know the firewall is probably expensive, but I understand why IT is requesting this. So I will really encourage board members of financial institution that handles any type of large transaction to really come out and gain the information, so you can better position your members of your institution, not just today and tomorrow, but down the future, because cybersecurity is a continuous process. It's not something you do today and you forget about it next year. So
Let's say someone falls prey to cybercrime. Is there any redress? Who investigates cybercrime?
So at this point, I mean, one could always go to the police, but like I was saying, that is why part of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, one of these projects is the implementation of the Cyber Emergency Response Unit, and that is one of their primary goals. In the meantime, there is a Caribbean wide site that was launched that you can go and log your complaints and also get more information. I can share that at a later date. But that's exactly what the Cyber Emergency Response Unit would be there for, is to assist persons who are actually attacked, or they lose their identity, or someone is using their identity, or someone is using AI to put their face on and defame them in that type of way. So that is being implemented as we not being implemented, but that will be put in place very soon. It also includes, as part of the project, changing some of the laws so that we can do all of these things, and when persons break the law, that they can be held accountable for that. But a very important one, again, we have a cybersecurity session on the 4th of December. It'll be held at the Goodwill Parish Hall. Call our office, 266-3840, the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. Please call. I wanted to just add something to what Mr. Grant said. He spoke about the boards. That's very important. But also, even from a company standpoint, a lot of times the managers feel that is not for them. The supervisors feel that is not for them. And they are the ones who have to make these types of decisions. A lot of times we send the junior staff, and when they come back and give us the ideas and what they've learned, we don't necessarily implement that. So we want persons at a different level to also come to this event so that they can understand, so that when decisions are, or when requests are being made to improve on the security or to do the different checks, that they will have a better understanding and will give a better listening ear, and hopefully implement some of these things so that your company can be more secure, your family can be more secure. And like I said, many times people just think about the financial aspect of, oh, I've lost some money, somebody took some money, or I sent some money to the wrong account. But reputational risk is also very, very important. If you lose your reputational risk, and people don't trust your business anymore, the $10,000 that you've lost, or the exposure that they've gone, you will never get that back, and you can actually lose your business as a result of that. If you just lose $10,000 in cash, you can easily make that back. But if you have lost your reputation because your clients, because remember, nowadays we're collecting more clients' data, and if that data goes out, you are going to have a serious issue to regain the confidence of your customers to continue working with you.
We spoke about using strong passwords, updating your software, thinking before you click on suspicious links. How often do you have to update your password? Is there, I don't know, some people have their password for years, more than 20 years even. And you laugh at this, and I don't want to tell you how many years I have mine for. No, but how often? What is the, I don't know, what is the advice that you'd give someone in reference to, how often they should change your password, if anything?
I would say quarterly is a reasonable time to change your password. One of the other things about passwords that you should not do is use the same password or slightly different password for different services. So your Amazon password should not be the same as your DBS email, your Instagram, on all of these other services, because there is this thing in cybersecurity or that adversary use called password spraying. So basically what it will do, they only found out your Amazon password through whatever means that they have. Now they basically just take that password and spray that across every single other services that they can think of.
Because for some people, they'll tell you they can't remember the password, so they use the same password for everything.
No.
And that's a no-no.
No. There is, you can look through, to manage that, you use a password manager. Now, everything in cybersecurity, when I say it, I have to sort of be clear that
Password manager.
yes, but then it's not any password manager. You don't just go to the Play Store and download any password manager. There is Bitwarden, is the one that I would mention. I would not mention any other one just because I don't want persons to get confused and probably pick something else. So there's Bitwarden. It's an open source password manager. Open source means that thousands of other developers see the entire code and see exactly what's going on with it. And if they have bad practices, it is quickly out within the community, and the software starts getting a real beat down from the community because they are community-driven products. So that's the one I would mention. And you basically save your password to it. There's an extension that you would put inside of your Google Chrome or Firefox that whenever you go to the site, you just click a button and it will fill it in. Like, I do not know any of my passwords because all of it is in the password manager. It's 12 or more characters of numbers, symbols, and all of that. So when I go to a site, I just click fill in and the app basically do it for me.
And at times you go on a site and you see a diagram saying weak password, not strong enough or something like that.
You should change it.
You should change it.
Yes.
Yeah, and another thing too, the same thing that Mr. Grant talked about, the password managers, it also tells you if you've used the same password multiple times. There's a lot of management inside of there, but very importantly, you'll be surprised that after using that for 6 months, you'll be surprised how many passwords or how many sites that you have. I think I maybe have about 300 passwords in terms of different sites that I've used over the years. So like you're saying, that if you're using the same password on 20 sites and somebody finds one password, what are the chances that that same password is on your Amazon account? So I could go and shop on your Amazon account. What are the chances that might be your same password you use at National Bank, at Republic Bank, at the credit union? So again, it's the exposure, right? So what we want to do is for persons to come to this event so we can teach you, we can train to make you be aware of the risks that are out there and how you can protect yourself. And I will keep on saying it over and over again. It's not just you, it's you,
your children, your family,
your children. A lot of us have these phones and we have the strongest passwords, but guess what? Our children, in less than 2 days, they know your password, right? And then we give them out. Now, a lot of us like to give our children our phone because that's the quickest way to make them be quiet sometimes, right? The children go on your phone and you have no security to ensure that they cannot download certain apps on your phone. Then they go and all of a sudden you see a whole set of games on your phone, which they may have given all sorts of access again to your data on there. So again, these are the basic things that we want to train people so that you can improve. The same thing as driving a vehicle. We train you how to be defensive, and by being defensive you reduce the chances of having an accident. Sometimes things will happen, but you want to reduce there are 10 attempts, you want to make sure that 9 of them you've locked them down. Maybe just one will happen maybe in a period of 5 or 10 years.
Yeah.
And then if you have multiple passwords, it means they're only going to have access to one site as opposed to having access to all of your sites.
One thing I'll mention with that, Robbie, is that our personal digital space is getting very. Your digital space versus your business place digital space is very. There's the line between that is very narrow now. So to add to Robbie's point, you have a business phone, and you give your son or daughter the business phone, and he downloads ton of apps that now have access to all you. When you install in an app, and that's probably a good advice for everybody listening, when you install in an app, a calendar app would probably need your access to your calendar, maybe, or something like that. But it doesn't need access to your storage, all of your contacts, and all of those things. Your mic,
audio,
your video, all of those things. There's an interesting story of a air fryer just this year that had an app. So you bought an air fryer. Everything is smart these days. So you bought an air fryer. The air fryer had an app on it that will basically tell you your popcorn is ready. Or you could get an alert no matter where you are through the house. But where in that app, when you installed it, it had access to your mic, your camera. And it turned out that all of the audio was actually being sent to some very unscrupulous site, listening to your audio and taking pictures of your phone. So basically, your air fryer was spying on you. So again, it's those sort of things that we have to understand that, yes, it's a business phone, but I take that business phone back onto the corporate network. And if there's something on my phone, I can. That's an easy way into to any corporate network. And I think all of us, when we walk around companies, we see persons on their phone. We go to a cashier, you see them on the phone. You see business within the phone. There's very little. There's a very no or little line between what is business now and what is personal. And even again, I probably mentioned the financial institution a little bit this morning, but that's one of the areas that actually have a lot of risk, because for sure if you get in there, you know your payday is high, and those are the type of institutions the adversaries are looking at. So even for those places, I don't think there are clear policies as far as what is your personal phone and what network that personal phone is able to connect to, is whether it's your guest Wi-Fi or is it the internal Wi-Fi. And attackers know that, and so they're looking for different ways to get into person. And again, AI is driving all of these things to levels that we have never seen across the cybersecurity space, because now there is so much data that these attackers can now start to sort of tag and collaborate and tag it to you, tag it to a number, tag it to your Instagram. Oh yeah, you work in NVD because that's on your LinkedIn. So now we know for sure this person is a LinkedIn person. They work at NVD or they work at some other financial institution, and we can start building a profile for them. And what you're looking for is an in. How do I get in? It might be their phone, it might be through their Instagram, it might be some other way that we've probably never even seen. And so the attack surface is constantly changing, and this is probably why, again, a lot of folks, whether you run a personal business or you're just doing some little thing or just for your own personal information, you should come out to the workshop and really sit down for a couple of hours and really get the information. You have a chance to ask some questions and interact with a lot of persons within the space that actually can give you a lot of information. So I really encourage everybody to come out on December 4th at the Goodwill Parish Hall to that workshop.
Mm-hmm.
You asked a question, and I've been asking that question at many workshops, and you'd be amazed how many people say no. I asked the question, when was the last time you got a security, not only security, but you got a notification to update your phone? And most people tell you, update? But why am I doing that? That's just going to take too much time. But most of these, or they have space. A lot of these updates are because they found some loophole, some patch, some way someone was able to get in for something, and they send these patches or updates to ensure that your device is secure, because these companies who are providing these phones also have to secure themselves. So once they see these things, they send a patch. But many of us, we just bypass that. Sometimes we are afraid it may do something to our phone. But the purpose of these things are to update our phones, our tablets, our laptops, our desktops. So most of us have all four of them, and we do it for maybe one or two, but you have to ensure that all of them are protected. Otherwise, you are exposing yourself to potential harm.
So the workshop is on December 4. For someone who's just joining in, let's go over this again. Let's reiterate why this workshop matters.
This workshop matters because cybersecurity is real. Mm-hmm. It is not something that we see on television only. We actually have a group, a cybersecurity group, and you'd be surprised the amount of activity.
A local cybersecurity group.
Local cybersecurity group. And again, the purpose of it is that when something happens, you can just send out a message. So I saw something on, was it Thursday or Friday? I put it in the group, guys, have you seen this? And you'd be surprised that, yeah, I saw this, I heard about this, and then everybody's interacting and working together. So it is real. These things are happening here in Dominica, people, as you said, there's cybersecurity actors out there, and that is their job. Their job is to earn a living trying to scam people. That's the other part of it, to scams. Making offers that seem too good to be true, and people actually falling for this. And millions of dollars, even from Dominica, is going out to pay these individuals. Now, a lot of times you hear about these highfalutin programs and on training seminars. The intention of this one on December 4th at the Goodwill Parish Hall, you can register for the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project, 266-3840, is to ensure that we can give you the basics and we can put it in very simple layman terms. Come with your devices, come with your laptop, come with things, so we can actually show you how to do some of these things, again, not only to protect your family, but to protect your business and your friends. Is extremely important. And as you would have heard from what we said so far, there's so many different angles that people are going to be hitting you from. So you have to make sure that you are aware. We want to ensure that it's not just the regular staff members. We need the supervisors, we need the managers, and as Mr. Grant said, even board members should attend these meetings, because the IT person is going to ask at some point, hey, we need to do this X, Y, and Z to protect our company. I need more money for backup drives. We haven't backed up in X amount of time. You have to ensure that you are backing up your company's information on a regular basis, so that if something goes wrong, that you have something to fall back on.
In recent times, I've seen on Facebook, online, a lot of messages or posts, people saying that their WhatsApp has been compromised or hacked or so. What should that person do? What is the best way to deal with a situation like that?
Okay. So it is possible to recover the number. You just have to...
The same number?
The same number, yes. So basically, you would have to basically follow the instructions. So you try to install WhatsApp again, and it will fail because the person already changed the number. So that text message that you would usually get when you install it no longer comes to you. But you can ask, there's more help. When it fails a couple of times, there's a little button that says more help, and they actually provide you with an email address that you can email and explain that you actually have this issue, and then they will basically send you instructions as to how it is to recover it. Because what happened is WhatsApp just has to basically revoke the change of number to allow your phone to reinstall it, and then you basically get it back. One of the things that I'll mention with that and how persons get those things is that they're actually in a lot of the groups. So they actually, some of the groups that we manage has no security these days. Well, there's no security across the thing. So we have a big group, whether it's a church group, a school group. After a while, who's in that group gets very, very, you don't know who's in the group.
Yeah.
And what these adversaries do is they actually get into those groups and just stay there quietly and not say anything, because there's really nobody going through, who is this number? Who is that number? Who is this number? We usually just get a message, the admin just get a message saying, hey, add this person, because somebody lost their phone, changed their phone, something happened. Yeah. So the adversaries and the attackers sit in the group and they know everything. They know the church has a meeting coming up on December 4th, and they usually do it via Zoom. So when you get a call saying, hey, I just sent you a pin for the church meeting happening this Sunday, can you please send it to me? You automatically, your meeting was last night. You had a meeting talking all about that. You're not going to think it's some weird person. You don't even know who the number that called you about it, but you know that you have a church meeting coming up. So you're just like, all right, no problem, let me send you that number. But that number was actually your WhatsApp pin to install WhatsApp. So now they actually get your WhatsApp. As soon as they get your WhatsApp, what they do a change of number that then allows them to keep that WhatsApp. Now, what is the value of that, and what are they after? They simply after contacts. They after all your contacts, because now they can read all your messages. So they basically quickly read all your messages and quickly spray and say, hey, I need 100 US, hoping that somebody would think. Now, we might think this does not happen and they wouldn't get no money. But trust me, when you multiply this by 1,000 different WhatsApp accounts, how much of them you think gonna pay? Now, if 100 pay at $100 within an hour, I mean,
that's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money for doing very little work from some remote part in the world. I mean, So that's the sort of things that we kind of have to be aware of. So if you are an admin of a WhatsApp group, you probably need to do an audit and see who's in that group. And if there's a number in that group that refuses to respond and give a clear indication as to who they are, you delete that number. And there's no ifs and about it. You even some people running new different informational groups to do for sports or different things. I mean, you also as an admin of that group has a responsibility to ensure that everybody in that group is who they are and who they say they are, because you basically giving profiling persons. Everybody join the group. Who are you? My name is Charles Grant. I'm from Wesley, and I work at Jolly's Pharmacy, and so on and so forth. Now, everybody, when they join the group, they usually introduce themselves. So now you're already building profile as far as who is who, where you work, all of those things. Now, all of that information would be eventually get into one place, and you build profiles on people. So just as a bit of advice for person. But again, those are the sort of information that we would love persons to come out and really listen to and sit back and hear on the 4th of December at the workshop. So.
And Ivonia, this is real. Just yesterday I was speaking to someone. He said, yes, I got a message like that. It was from my wife, and again, it has happened. It's like, I consider it like the horoscope. Whatever you see can happen, will happen to someone, right? And he said it does happen that his wife was away at the time, and he got a message saying, hey, send me I think it was 2,000 euros because I was in a bind. And he said, again, we instinctively react. He rushed to get the money. He rushed to Western Union. And while he's at Western Union in the line, he's saying, but you know something, I didn't even call my wife to find out if that is true. He calls the wife and she's laughing, but what are you talking about? I just came in. What are you talking about? He said, I just. So if he hadn't done that, if he hadn't thought, he would have sent that money to his wife. Well, not to his wife, obviously, to someone, and that person would be enjoying those funds. So it is real. It is happening right now. And what we want to do is to ensure that we give our people the best chance to protect themselves whilst they're using technology to make things more efficient for themselves, for their staff, and for their customers. We have to make sure that they also know how to protect all of that. And
one workshop won't do it. What is the plan going forward?
One workshop will not do it. There's many courses online. You have experts like Mr. Grant you can speak to do that. At the Digital Transformation Project, we have continuous education. We have digital literacy. So we also encourage people to sign up to our site, register, so that when we have these training programs, that you listen and you join. And not only join, but ask someone else to join, because without having that information, you are basically like Russian roulette. You're almost gambling to a certain extent. And what we want to do is just to make sure that you have the tools, you have the understanding to protect yourself and your family members. And if you're in business, if you're in business, to protect your business and to protect the data, because we're collecting a lot of data right now. We collect on an average thing. We have to collect the person's first name, last name, date of birth, where they live. Most right now through the banking aspect of it, you have to keep their passport number and stuff like that. So we have very important data that we also have to protect as a company.
But you mentioned data, and I was just thinking as well, is it advisable to put your correct information on certain sites? Like when you sign up for Facebook and you put your date of birth, and you have everything, to the T correctly. Is it advisable to do this? I mean, across the board. I just said Facebook, but there's across the board. When you're signing up on a new site, and you have to put in your personal information.
Well, you should probably have a digital profile. It's probably one of the ways that you could probably tell when something's probably off. So you should probably use a different date of birth. I think my date of birth is probably always Christmas Day. Of probably the same year that I was born, but it's Christmas Day. So when I see something that's actually saying happy birthday, or we know today's
I was just about to ask you that. What happens?
Well, I know it's Christmas.
So many people sending you happy birthday greetings and all of that, but it's not really a birthday. It's just a ploy. It's just a strategy that you
pretty
use.
much.
I think part of the issue that's a very important question. I think there's some important sites, and there's some sites that are not important.
Yeah.
So I would imagine those that are not important, you don't have to give all of your.
Well, someone like you would know, obviously.
Yeah.
You're involved in this thing.
But an important website where you're going to be putting your passport, your proper ID, your credit card and stuff like that. you won't have to also remember if you lose that account for some reason or you have to make sure you remember all of that information. So if you put false information and you don't remember the false information, then you have a problem.
Yeah.
That's where the password managers also come into play, that you can create a profile and you can also save secure information inside of there for you to know what you may have put inside of there,
Yeah.
that if you have to recover the account, you know what to do. So again, all of these things are things that we can actually, we're hoping that we can train people and teach persons to do that. And all of these courses that the government is doing through the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project are absolutely free, because we want to ensure that people are protected.
I mean, this is good, the advancements, and, digital advancements and all of that. But still, when you look at it on the flip side, man, it's a lot, especially for people who don't know much, for people who you're not sure, what is happening. So some people will just go and give all the information, just do everything and just do anything.
So that's why...
Herein lies the importance of this workshop.
Yeah, not only the workshop, and as you said, one workshop won't cut it. That is why we also have continuous education, the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project. We have 15 innovation hubs across Dominica, and the intention is to make sure we have continuous programs at these locations, so you don't have to come to Roseau, you don't have to go to Portsmouth, they're in all different areas, so that when these courses are being held, you can join up and to learn. And as I said, and I always say, don't just come by yourself, bring a family member with you. And once you learn that information, impart that knowledge on the persons in your home and also around you. So December 4th, Goodwill Parish Hall. The telephone number to register is 266-3840, and we'll be more than happy to assist. And as you can see, we have Mr. Grant here, who's extremely knowledgeable, and other team members who will be there.
Mr. Grant, you have been doing this as a child, man, because you're still young. You have been involved in this for a number of years.
Yeah, I started straight out of high school, so
Okay.
probably 25 years, not to give away my age. But yeah, it's been a while. So I just really, again, to add to what Bobby said, just encourage persons to come out. We have a vehicle, we service the vehicle because we expect the vehicle to be running. But yet still, where we actually have our money and a lot of information about us, 6 months passing and we never change our password. We never do any security assessment for our business. We don't have a cybersecurity person that we can reach out to actually see where we at, just to prevent a breakdown. But our vehicles get serviced every 3 months on the regular, and we never have any problems with our vehicles. Why don't we just let our vehicle run until there's a problem? But that's how some people treat cybersecurity. And again, this workshop is to try to just let you know that, there is ways you can set up your different, whether it's quarterly, every half year, based on your budget and what you can do. But to just not do it at all, like you've never had a cybersecurity person come look at your internet. And again, the IT persons within your business are not necessarily the person that should be doing that for you, because they try their best to do it every day. You should bring in a fresh eye. That's why the roles are supposed to be separate. Your IT guy is not your cybersecurity guy. And your cybersecurity guy should not be a part of your IT department at all. He should be outside of that, looking at everything that the IT guys are doing to then inform them. But if your IT guy and your cybersecurity guy are collaborating and making decisions together, then how secure are you? Because he's not looking at it from a fresh perspective. He's just basically helping them to protect what he's supposed to be protecting. So again, looking forward to a lot of people coming out and really just spending some time with some really good presenters to get you the information that you need and help you better protect yourself. Again, one workshop won't do it, but again, I expect there to be more, and now and you would learn of other cybersecurity persons within this space, just on your island in Dominica, so you can then reach out to them personally and say, hey, I got a lot of calls now and then saying, hey, my WhatsApp is lost, or hey, I got this email saying X and Y, but a lot of time those things are after the thing. I don't usually get calls saying, hey, come check me out, come let's talk and let's see how I can better secure my posture in this whole cybersecurity space. Everybody calls you when there is a problem, and a lot of those times it's very little that can be done in terms of recovery of funds or getting back certain accounts and so on for you. But I really look forward to the folks that will join us on December 4th at the Goodwill Parish.
Is an example maybe on the international scene on anyone receiving back their funds? Have you ever heard of this? At least some of the funds?
It is rare.
It is rare.
It is
It is
very
rare.
rare. Because as soon as their funds are transferred, it gets transferred so many times that, and through jurisdictions that no longer that don't work together. And these attackers know these things. They know exactly how to do these things. Think of it as a movie script. So what we as cybersecurity are protecting is basically a movie script where there's a very well prepared script as far as how things are gonna happen, and in very little time. So as soon as your WhatsApp, let's use the WhatsApp for example, as soon as WhatsApp is compromised, the numbers change almost instantly. You just see it go, your WhatsApp have a problem, you try reinstalling it, it tells you you can't reinstall because the number has changed. So these are basically it's almost like these attackers following like a really tight script that they know this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen. Yeah, right.
Interesting.
I see you mesmerized, but I'm not sure what that red light is. Is that danger?
Oh, a lot
Is
of
that
people are
danger
calling. A
and
lot
we
of
have
people
to
are
leave?
calling. Let's just take this caller quickly before we end. Hello, good morning.
Two quick questions.
Yes.
This meetup, is it a pay to enter or will it be carried live?
It is absolutely free. I will reconfirm whether it will be also held live. I'll do
I
that.
think it is totally desirable, I think.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Thank you.
So Ivone, our goal is super simple, and as Grant just said a while ago, before the disaster strikes, give yourself the knowledge to prevent it. So like you're saying, sometimes you can't get back our money, most times you can't get back our money, most times you can't get back your files, and nobody wants to lose that. So all we want to do is to make sure we give you the knowledge so that you can protect yourself and your family and your business from these events happening. You can't prevent everything from happening, but you can prevent a significant amount by having the knowledge and putting things in place, updating your phones updating your software on a regular basis. Not a lot of times we just like to click. We feel email comes in, we feel important. There's so many of them. You have no idea who that person is, but they send you an email and you even want to open it. I have a new philosophy now. If I do not know that email, I am pressing delete.
Yep.
And if is it very important, you will find a way to get in contact with me. Because I don't even want the risk of opening that email to expose myself. So even this on Friday, we had that same thing. I got a message. No, I got it on Saturday. I got one on Thursday. I got another one on Saturday saying my account has been frozen. Click on that link. And I was saying to Grant, you know something? I feel I should click on that link, use a secure thing, just to make sure that everything is fine, and just to see what they're trying to do. He said, Robbie, the best thing to do is just block and delete.
Block and delete. Let's just take this caller quickly. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Yes,
Hello,
go ahead.
Good morning, Fireman Touching Base. Good morning to members and members.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Now, if you have a good educational program, I listen in and to be involved because it's very important. Now, we were saying something earlier about if a guy send money to his wife and something like that, and he had to call his wife and find out if in case she really sent that request. Right? That's what you were saying, right?
Yes.
So you really actually know, in spite of everything you're saying there, anytime something like transfer passing, it's the best thing to do is to call the person you're going to receive, let them know what's happening so you can know what's happening. Now, after all that now, the person who's trying that false thing now, what are you doing about that now? How you can find that person and what is the result after all that? Up and running, fireman running, bless up and listening.
Okay, I think we asked that, but you could just give him the answer again.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me the challenge is that the bulk of these attacks are not coming from Dominica, right? The bulk of these attacks are not coming from Dominica. Would that be correct?
Yes.
A lot of them are external, and it's going to be extremely difficult for you to get redress. So what the government has done as part of the Caribbean Digital Transformation Project is that we will be implementing a cybersecurity emergency response unit that will be able to help track and be aware of some of these attacks that are happening. But that's only some of them. So we have to make sure that we as individuals are protecting ourselves. And as Mr. Grant says, you and your family, even just walking here, I was saying, geez, that whole thing about scams and stuff like that, I have to actually start speaking with my wife and my children to say, hey, when I make a request or a call, or you call me, make sure I use particular words for you to know. Because with artificial intelligence,
No.
I am able, in some of my businesses right now, I have been able to speak, to read to my artificial intelligence thing for 2 hours. You can even do it for less, but I did it for an hour. I read to it, so it can actually clone my voice. So you can, someone can program it. When you call that number, it will answer and it'll sound just like Robert Tong. And if you program it properly, I say, hey, Daddy, did you actually ask for that money? It'll say, yes, I asked for $200 because it programmed that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But like Grant said, you'd say, Daddy, so how is the dog? You must have little things in place to protect yourself, to ensure that these things don't happen.
Yeah, and this seems far-fetched, but if we all know Dominica, and we all, as we say, or Asa would say, we know people to know people. We all know somebody in their various institutions, and we all know where we can call X place and say, hey, can you please do this for me? And they get it done for you. So this is not even digital. This is just personal relationship, being a very small community, that we're able to call DBS and say, hey, I'm going to send you an email, and can you please put this on air for me?
Yeah.
And the person hasn't paid, but Robbie,
You know
it's
the
Robbie
voice.
that call in. Robbie going to tell you, put that on for you. It's Robbie.
Yep.
Robbie will eventually come and pay. You go, you put it on. This ad was not by Robbie. Robbie never called. And even within our institutions, that's what we work on a lot. We work on the relationship that we have built over the years with ex-persons. So again, within financial institutions, they probably have a lot of security, or they try their best with security. But what happens when Robbie calls and say, make a transfer for him? What happens with that? It's Robbie. I know Robbie. I deal with Robbie account. He didn't sign. Yes, he didn't sign, but he said, he called me. He has done that 3 or 4 times, or just this year. What happens when he calls and he says, done that transfer? What happens? You're going to say you received a call from Robbie. And the call was there. You can go back in the company's log and see, yeah, it looked like Robbie number. Robbie probably called.
Even if you recorded the voice, it even sounded like Robbie, but it wasn't Robbie.
Yeah. And now you just transferred Robbie money, and Robbie coming after you now for his money, but it's not there. So cybersecurity is a lot of digital thing, but again, it's a lot of emotion and just we as people, what we are accustomed to working with. So it's a lot of psychological thing as well. It's called social engineering and stuff like that, which is a lot of the attacks are usually what we refer to as social engineering, where somebody gets you to do something just because of relationship and because of a psychological instinct to do something.
Let's take this caller quickly. Hello, good morning.
Another quick one.
Yes.
Are there persons, maybe that one is for Robbie, are there persons actively working at our IXP to whom we could, for example, forward an email, a scam email, so that they could actually block that address at the IXP level so that it wouldn't reach anybody else?
Okay, that's it, caller?
Yes.
Okay, all right. He's going to answer. Thank you.
I don't know. I will request the information and I can get back. To you. I think this program is so interesting, and I can see that you're so intrigued that I think you should actually call us back.
No, but
to
I'm
do
thinking of this.
another round of this.
I'm thinking
even
of this.
before the
December 4.
event, yeah. Because as you can see, it's a lot of important, pertinent information, because and why we're also doing this, because we're seeing these things happening. Obviously, everyone doesn't talk about it. Some companies are not going to talk about it because they feel it might be embarrassing. It might be same thing. The whole issue I talked about, a reputational risk. But these things are happening. Companies are losing money. Companies are losing data. People are clicking on the wrong files. So we have to ensure that we are protecting ourselves, our businesses, also our family, because this is the most powerful device, it's the most powerful piece of equipment is our cell phone. Many of us, I hardly use a desktop or a laptop. I only use it if I want a much bigger screen, so a lot of my work is on here, and if I don't protect this, it means I'm in trouble. So I make sure I have antivirus software before I say, why did I have to spend money to do this? and and I'll try to get all of the hacked things. But again, you're exposing yourself. So I make sure I have my antivirus. I make sure I have my VPN. I make sure I have my password tracker, because I have to make sure I can protect my passwords and everything. And I also make sure I actually tell it to automatically update and turn off the phone every night, just to make sure it cleans it out and it downloads the most up-to-date thing, because this is the gateway. Your phone is your gateway to almost everything that you have and that you own. The only thing maybe you can't do right now is to maybe sell your piece of land from the phone, but in time it will be able to be done, right? But now I can transfer money from one account to the next account. So you have to make sure that this piece of device is properly protected at all times.
Someone is asking via WhatsApp, what about screen locks? I'm not sure about the question though the person is asking. It's not really it's not written well.
Okay.
But can you be protected if you use screen locks? That's what I'm getting.
I'll probably just add two things. So just from the last caller, ISPs, internet exchanges, where both Digicel and Flow connections would basically all come together to then allow for local traffic to remain local. So currently, this responsibility can't be on the internet exchange, because your Gmail does not sit within Dominica. Your Hotmail does not sit within Dominica. So how do your local ISP or IXP actually protect you when your stuff is in the cloud? Everything is in the cloud these days. So unless you run in a local email server, which they cannot decide to just block stuff when, for every person's, unless it's a real something that's trying to affect their network. Everything is open. We basically, ISPs provide open internet for you. You then determine what it is that you want to block and what it is that you want to allow into your network. So for the last caller, I don't believe it's on the ISPs or the IXP. It's you, and basically you have to decide what is spam and what is not spam. What is spam to me may not be spam to somebody else. That's just the nature of it. For screen locks don't really do anything for you. Screen locks don't stop apps from running within your phone when your screen is locked. So no, screen lock doesn't really do anything for you. Screen lock just simply protects your phone from being accessed when it's left somewhere, and so it's protecting you personally, just from preventing somebody physically grabbing your phone, swiping and unlocking and probably making calls or reading your phone, going through your pictures and stuff like that. But other than that, that's more for physical security, not necessarily everything else digital that you have to kind of protect yourself against.
Well, gentlemen, let me thank you. I know we went over time, but I want to invite you again soon. I'll call to let you know exactly when we can do this, because this is important. I think we need to have, ongoing information about this very, very, important topic. I'm happy that you are doing this workshop. I'm hoping that a lot of people will turn out to this workshop. I'm not sure how many people you can take, but it will be good to maybe have it broadcast live or something like that.
Definitely, we'll look into that and see how best we can ensure that as many people can get. The challenge we have most times with the live aspect of it is that you are sitting at your computer and you're listening to the program, but you have 5 or 6 people coming and interrupting you to do all sorts of other things, and as a result, you truly don't get the full hands-on experience. And like I said, we really want this to be as hands-on as possible, to come and see your device, to say, hey, to do these different things. just like we mentioned, the last caller, just like we mentioned a while ago, that as opposed to having 15 passwords from 15 different sites, you put it in a what do you call it? In a password manager, and you have multiple passwords on every single site. It's the same thing for your phone, because if I am able to get into your phone and all of your applications are open, it is tantamount to the same thing, right? So in addition to that, you can even put password locks on your very important applications, just to make sure that someone doesn't go in. So take, for example, my banking applications, I have an additional lock. I must put my fingerprint. It's not going to be a code, again, to make sure. And some people get worried that I'm not sure if I should say that even the password security programs, somebody says, well, what if you supposedly pass away, or what if you are incapacitated for a certain period of time? There are options even within there to say, hey, if there's no activity for a certain period of time, send an email to X, Y, and Z and give them access to, just to make sure that. So there are safeguards inside of there. The question is,
Do you want it?
do you want to add those things? But it's important to have them.
Oh, well, gentlemen, let me thank you. As I say, I will make, I will contact you, Mr. Tong, to see how we can have another discussion on this. Thank you so much.
So I want to thank you very much. Thank you to the listeners. Like we said, December 4th at the Goodwill Parish Hall at 9 o'clock. Please, you have to register. Please just don't show up, because we want to make sure we have this proper seating arrangement and enough persons that when you come there after the presentations and stuff like that, we can sit down with everybody and say, hey, this is how, because many people are going to have many questions. This is how we're going to do that. We want to make sure we have enough people to do that. So the telephone number to call is 266-3840, and we'll be happy to add you to that list. And again, it's open to everyone. Please don't, persons who are in companies, persons who don't just send your basic junior staff. We need persons who can make proper decisions and who have the ability to contribute towards the budgets and stuff like that, so that your companies can be best protected.
Okay, Mr. Grant, thank you so much. I'm hoping that you can join us again too when we have this discussion.
Anytime.
And all the best to you. I'm happy that you are doing this. You see this as necessary, as important, and you're taking action. That's good. Thank you so much.
And it's absolutely free. Compliments the government of Dominica.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.